Thanks for listening to the Brian Brawdy Show. It's time to mortal up.
And tonight we're talking about the art of no, and we got all kinds of cool things going on. Most importantly, for sure, is all the breaking news. There's just a ton of breaking news and a couple different things that I wanted to throw in. But in discussing the art of no, what is it that happens to an individual mind so that when you say, like, can I just tell you exactly what I was thinking about? I have had more times where I said no to myself was more important than the times I've said yes. Right? So what happens is you move through the different fields, you move through the different things going on. You realize very quickly that it's not always about saying yes to ourselves. Sometimes there's just things we say no to. And none of that is nearly as important as the times that we say yes. People say, oh, if I say yes to myself, if I do this, if I do that. So as odd as it is to contemplate, and everyone says, oh, I want to say yes to life. I want to embrace it fully. I want to do this. I want to do that. The biggest impact in life sometimes comes when we just say no to ourselves. When we say no to some of the craziness, when we say no to some of the mashugana. Oh, well, I feel like I should have a piece of cheesecake. Since I packed on the tumor 20, I joke about all the time, the greatest advances came to me when I said no. Oh, I want a candy bar. No. Oh, I want this. No. Oh, I want that. No. And it's the times when I say no to myself that have made the greatest impact. And most everyone is busy going, no, but you got to say yes to life. You have to say yes to this. You have to say yes to, and I'm here to suggest every so often, it's just as important to say no. And there's an art to it. Do I need to do this? No. Do I need to take this meeting? No. Do I need to hang out with those folks? No. Let me say hello to Janice. Janice, hi. Thank you very much. Yes, it looks like we're finally up on Facebook. Sorry about that. A couple minutes running behind on that side. Also said hello to Candace. Candace, thank you so much for joining us here on the Brian Brawdy Show. Tonight, Radio Bry, as I like to call it, we're talking about the art of no. And at times, the greatest impacts in our lives come from things we don't do, things we say no to. Oh, do you want to go and do this? No. Because maybe you want to spend some time with yourself. Oh, do you want to do that? No. 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 I'm not going to do that. I want some time to myself. I want to be able to sit back and enjoy what it is that I want to do. So the art of saying no is, oh, would you take a meeting? No. You want to go to this movie? You want to go to dinner? No. And I'm here to tell you, hello, Janice. I'm here to tell you that, let me put it this way. I'm here to offer that the times that we say no to ourselves are more impactful than the times that we say yes, or they can be. But so many people go, well, I felt, or I always dreamt, or I wanted to do this, or I wanted to do that. But the greatest impact comes when we say no. Do I need another piece of cheesecake? No. Should I have another beer? No. Should I sleep in? No. And it's funny, you kind of get to the point where you just start saying no to yourself, and it feels good to add some parameters. it feels great to add some boundaries, if you will, so that you get to the point where you go, no, I'm not going to do that. Now, I know in the beginning, very stoic philosophy of me, right? I know in the beginning, it can seem like a challenge. Well, I saw this book title today, Say Yes to Life, Say Yes to This, Say Yes to That. Well, there are times where saying no and the art of no, we're going to get into this a little more in Mortal Up, because again, so much to get to. Will you send me $1 million? Well, yes, sis. If I had $1 million, I would send it to you. There's a perfect example of saying yes. Yes, I would send you $1 million if I had. All right. So the art of saying no is something that we have to work on, just like a progressive adaptation of any muscle. We say no to ourselves. That's when the sparks start to fly. All right, I want to get right into it. We'll save the rest of it for Mortal Up. We're going to take some calls at the bottom of the hour. Just a big breaking news day. And one of the things, and I wonder, Wayne, you could throw up that image for me that we were kicking around earlier today. A friend of mine sent this to me over on, there you go. Sent it over on Facebook. G. Biden with all the breaking news. Obviously, if you've ever been to Tiananmen Square, it's a huge picture, right? It's a huge picture. And now to see Biden's mug superimposed, it kind of makes a little, I kind of feel it. I kind of get it. G. Biden. And with all the breaking news this evening about his son, Hunter Biden, now look, I get it. I'm a dad. I'd stick up for my sons. I'd stick up for my daughters. I'd get it. But there's too many weird things going on, do you think? Too many weird things going on about how Hunter Biden is a billionaire now, at least a millionaire 100 times over, with no experience in any of the things that he did other than follow his dad around when they went on top secret meetings to China. And some of the reports breaking tonight, literally right as we come on, is that the Obama administration knew about it, that they really knew there was a conflict of interest, not just in Ukraine, but with Russia. The Ukraine thing, where he brags about saying, look, if you don't get rid of the prosecutor that's going after my son, we're not going to give you $1 billion. Think about that. That's not my words, they're his. Not my words, his. Which leads me to the thing I'd really love to talk about this evening. We hear all the time about precedent. Well, it's important that we follow precedent, especially judicial precedent. It's super, super important. Oh, when it comes to, let's just pick abortion. When it comes to abortion, we should pick precedent. The precedent has always been, this is the way we've done it. Right? So I thought tonight, seeing that our show is called The Art of No, let's just ask each other some questions, some very straightforward yes or no answers to these questions. And it may be helpful as you move forward in the debate with people on social media, your family and friends, who knows how you have it. But as you move forward, it might be helpful to frame some of these questions. So everyone's all about precedent. Well, it's precedent that Roe v. Wade turned out the way it did. It's precedent. But yet, so do you believe, let me ask you this, and we'll put the poll up at mortalup.com. Do you believe in judicial, thank you, Wayne, very much, mortalup.com, you can go and vote. We'll share the results tomorrow night. Do you believe in judicial precedent? Do you believe when they say, oh, well, this is the way it's been for so long, this is the way it should continue to be? Yes or no? Is judicial precedent a good thing for us to have at the judicial level, right? Just precedent, which begs the debate of, is it normal or natural? But we're not going to get into that tonight because there's a difference between what's normal and what's natural. But judicial precedent, should we support it, yes or no? And the only reason I ask you is that if precedent is so important, if precedent is something we always want to follow, why wouldn't the president put forward a Supreme Court justice or his pick of who might be a Supreme Court justice? 29 times presidents have done it before him. That's precedent. Why shouldn't he? Ruth Bader Ginsburg. Look, I'm really sorry that at 81, the late justice didn't decide, well, 81 years, I've had a good run. It's time for me to get out. President Obama's in office. The Dems are running the show. Be a good time for me to go so that we can get someone put in. But she didn't. She held on. God love her. Right? She could have left at 81, but she held on. 87. 2016, she said, no, I think it's important for a president to be able to make the appointment, and the Senate should give him an up or down vote on it. Well, that's precedent, I would think. And G. Biden said in 2016, I think the president should be able to nominate and the Senate should seriously take it up. Well, that's precedent, I'm assuming, right? So if you want precedent and you're willing to drag potential Supreme Court justices over hot coals, over precedent, it's precedent, it's in the books, it's the way we've always done it. Well, why would you threaten to pack the court? The way we've always done it for the longest time is 9 justices. The way we've always done it is that I think we said yesterday, 29. Wayne put up the graphic a little bit ago, but I think it was 29 times the president didn't always win, but 29 times it was precedent that he nominated a Supreme Court justice. So it's precedent, right? You believe in precedent. You said, yes, it's precedent. Or maybe you did, maybe you didn't. I don't know. But precedent means, right? You and I know what that means. It's the way we've done it, so let's stick with it. Oh, so when it comes to abortion, there's precedent. But when it comes to Supreme Court justices, no precedent. So I don't see how we get to have our cake and eat it too. Bart. Oh, Bart, God love ya. Oh, thanks. But I was trying to get you to say no. Oh, well, there you go. That hurts, Bart. I would think. Get a job, really. Tough question. So if there's precedent, why wouldn't the current president nominate? If it's precedent that the Senate's going to take it up, why wouldn't that happen? It's kind of like the debate of science. People scream, oh, science, science, science. We believe in science. Right? Great. You believe in science. Yes, believe in science. The science is the way to go. So, but since we're on the abortion topic, let's just stick with it for a minute. And again, none of this, people go, well, I never knew that's the way you felt. I'm not giving you my opinion about a damn thing. Not a damn thing. Right? Because in this segment, we're asking yes or no questions. Yes or no. Do you believe in precedent? Yes or no. And of course, you can vote at mortalup.com. Do you believe in precedent? Okay. Do you believe in science? Yes. Oh, I believe in science. Science, science. Oh, science. Oh, science. Science, 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 science. Great. When it comes to late-term abortions, is there a scientist out there that says that life begins with a pair of scissors where a doctor cuts an umbilical, or a nurse, an attending nurse or an attending physician, when that doctor cuts the umbilical cord, that's what triggers life? Or the science of ultrasounds, the science of being able to see a developing fetus, that's science. Oh, so you pick precedent when it supports you. And when it doesn't support you, you're absolutely against it. So do you believe in science, yes or no? And you say, yes, I absolutely believe in science. Great. Is it true then that an infant only gets, we were talking about this at lunch the other day. If an infant is killed in an automobile accident, drunk, hits the mom, kills the mom and kills the baby, kills the infant, kills the baby inside, kills the fetus, he's charged with 2 counts. So at some point, somebody gets to decide pre-scissors, cutting the umbilical cord. So if you're going to scream science, Yes or no? Do you believe in science? Yes or no? Is a fetus at 6 months a viable human being? What does science say? Since you're the one screaming science left and right. So here's what I've come down. Here's what it's come down to me. Politicians, for the most part, career politicians, and look, maybe one or two of them are decent people. Maybe there's a handful here. Maybe I shouldn't just say one or two. Maybe there's a handful of people, but they're cherry-picking pricks. And before everyone gets upset, or Wayne gets all the emails, by prick, of course, I mean the biblical term for a sharp, pointy cattle prod type thing, right? Give that cow a prick in the butt, get it moving. They're cherry-picking pricks. So is anyone that says to you, well, I believe this until my opinion is on the chopping block, then I don't believe it anymore. And that makes you a cherry-picking prick. Again, cattle prod pointed into a goat's tuchus. Right? Because admit it, just admit it. As we talked about today, well, a bunch of people will have more respect for you if you just admit, yeah, I'm a cherry picker. There's no absolute. It isn't yes or no. Brian's crazy. That's a totally different show. Brian's crazy. Some questions you can't answer just yes or no. Bullshit, you most certainly can. Yes or no? Janice says, Big Red says hello. Big Red right back at you. Right? But if you get to cherry pick what's right and wrong only to your best interest, you're a cherry picking prick. Just admit it. Just admit that you're a narcissistic egomaniac and a healthy dose of cherry picking prick. Because then you can say, no, I don't care what happens. What I think of in this particular moment and all the time, well, damn, that's what's sure going to count. Of course, the president has a right to nominate his pick for the justice. But just ask yourself in some of these yes or no questions. Is it right or wrong? Yes or no? Up, down, left, right. Oh, well, there's a lot of gray area, Brian. You're talking about it. Well, Mitch McConnell certainly didn't let. Great. Two wrongs don't make a right. Let me ask you this. Yes or no? Do you believe two wrongs make a right? Yes or no? And if you're inclined to go, yes, but, or no, but, nah, sorry, not the game show we're playing here. Yes or no? Do you believe the two wrongs make a right? Yes or no? No. Okay. It doesn't matter. Well, if he nominates, Mitch McConnell didn't nominate it back when it was Obama. Hey, so sad, too bad. I don't know what to tell you, but you just admitted that two wrongs don't make a right. So and I don't want to go on for this for a whole lot longer, but I realize now that why normal folks, regular people are so just disgusted with all of this is our show is run by a bag full of cherry-picking pricks. Again, biblical reference, sharp cattle prod. Right? Because they're only going to vote their best interest at that particular moment in time. If Ruth Bader Ginsburg said, however many years ago, I think the president ought to have the right, I'm supposed to believe she gave her granddaughter a deathbed confession? I've been near death. I wasn't coherent enough to remember anything. Oh, I want to make sure this president doesn't pick my predecessor. Oh, I didn't know the Supreme Court was alive and well with nepotism, although your ruling class, your overlords, I guess you could argue that's all nepotism. I didn't know you get to play tag. Oh, and this is the person that I pick, like a studio wrestling match. Here's the tag team wrestler. I'm getting ready to check out of here. I'm getting ready to tap out for good. So I'm going to stick my hand out, and this is who I want to replace me. Last time I checked, that's not precedent. So in all this, I haven't given you my opinion one way or another. I'm simply asking you. It's an extenuation of the art of no. Yes or right? Is it science? Is it precedent? Is precedent right? Then that's what we're stuck with. Right? If it's right in one scenario, then it has to be right in another scenario. But as always, we're interested in your opinion. Head on over to mortalup.com. You'll see the poll there. We'll give you the poll results tomorrow night. Now, you have to admit that this is the greatest time in the history of the world to be alive. Breaking news left and right. Look, for those of us that think there's something a little fishy, there's just a little bit of stink that goes on whenever you mention the name Hunter Biden. Who knows? I didn't sit in on these meetings. I didn't give the Senate report. I'm not like these brainiacs that everybody elected, right? Even though apparently it's along partisan lines. But they said, wait a minute, there's just too many coincidences here. And all we're talking about is you can go to the tape where Joe Biden brags about the fact that he told him, you go ahead with this prosecution, you lose $1 billion. No, you don't need a lifeline. You don't need to phone a friend. You don't need any of that. You go ahead with this prosecution, $1 billion. I'm tearing up President Obama's check right here in front of you. Oh, well, then that prosecutor, he's fired. They're out. Who would stand for that? Yes or no, is that right? Not just because your guy's son did it. Is it right? Yes or no? Is it right? Or are you a cherry-picking prick? Right? Now, there's some question as to whether Alyssa Milano, I've seen today that, Wayne, have you heard anything about this where allegedly she was the one, the queen of defund police, allegedly she was the one that called, oddly enough, the police didn't call the well-clad, gunless security guards to come out when, I guess, a teenager was on her property shooting squirrels with a BB gun. Now, late in the day, I heard that now she's saying it wasn't me that called. It was the neighbors that called. Whatever. So, in that scenario, you want to defund the police, but the first time you get in trouble, who are you going to call? 911. Just not giving them your dinner order. Wayne, did you hear anything more about that?
Yeah, she apparently is denying everything.
Oh,
that she was the one who actually called. But
right.
But some of her neighbors are saying that, yes, she was the one who actually called.
Well, here's what I'd love. As you know, there's a tape of 911. And maybe she's like Jesse Smollett, right? He reminds me of Don Lemon. Is it Lemon, Lemon? I don't know what it is. However Jesse goes by. Jesse Smollett goes by now. There's going to be a tape. There's going to be a record of the phone number that called in, right? Yes or no? So in defending Alyssa Milano, which I never do, Bridget Butler, thank you so very much for joining us. Candace says she's nuts in so many ways. Big Red, us on live with Sis. No cherry picking here, Bri. Thank you very much. Nice to see you. So, yes or no? If you're going to ask to defund the police and you defund them for everyone else, except for yourself, when you need them, you pick up the phone. Now, let's give her the benefit of the doubt. Maybe the neighbors called in. Maybe. Don't know. Or she's a cherry-picking prick. Again, biblical reference, cattle prod, sharp stick in the butt. Right? That's all I'm saying. But there's clearly a yes or no to a lot of the questions that these politicians, these professional community service gaslighters, which is fascinating to me because I can't, every time I say gaslighter, I can't get gas bag out of my mind. But these gaslighters like to do, there's a lot of gray area. How is there a gray area? Vice President Joe Biden said in 2016, nope, sitting president's got to do it. It's his job. Now, because the court is getting ready to shift in a way that G. Biden doesn't like, now it's no longer about precedent. 29 times. Wayne, were you able to find in any of your investigation, and then good golly, we're already getting close to the bottom of the hour. Were you able to find in any of your investigation, was there ever a president that didn't put forward, not that they didn't make it, not asking that question, have you been able to research, has there ever been a president that didn't take full advantage of the opportunity to at least nominate someone?
No.
No. Where's your precedent now? Oh, precedent, gotta have it, precedent, right? Like it's ordering ketchup with French fries. Gotta have it. They're not French fries without ketchup.
Yeah, from what I can find, every single time there was a vacancy, and if that vacancy happened to be during that year, during the election year,
Right.
someone was nominated.
Oh, all right. So the precedent is if it happens in that year, that president nominates. Doesn't mean that his pick gets to go through in future times. Doesn't mean that her pick, female president, doesn't get to go through. Maybe doesn't make it. But the precedent is the sitting president, whoever you like, gets the pick. All right, we're going to get ready to run to the bottom of the hour here just a little bit. Don't forget our number, 833-MORTAL-1, when we come back a little bit here after the break. Of course, you can text me throughout the show, 833-667-8251, 833-667-8251. Toll-free call. Give us a holler. Oh, and I've got some other cool things. Wayne reminded me tomorrow we will have the video. Yes, it's going to be a video of the new mobile marketing facility. Yeah, it's just a trailer that I'm going to drag around behind me 20 miles a day on a bike. But the setup is that you'll be able to follow. You'll be able to see the map. You'll be able to see where I am, where I've been, what I'm doing, temperature, that kind of thing. I stop for a pop, whatever the deal is, you'll be able to see. So we'll be announcing that and showing all the details tomorrow night. Showed you some of the little pictures that I had yesterday, but tomorrow night, full Monty, right? Full frontal, everything, right? Full frontal, everything. Tomorrow night, we'll have the video and you'll get to see exactly what kind of craziness we're into now, right? As I've said, spreading the word while working on my spare tire. That's all. Right? When you don't have a massive marketing budget, you do what you can. You say no to sitting around on the couch. You say yes to getting up, getting outside, and doing what you can to spread the word. And I most certainly thank everyone here that's helped us. I want to say hello to everyone over on YouTube. We've got our numbers are growing over on YouTube as well. Thank you so very much for joining us. If you're listening to the audio, and if you're listening live over on mortalup.com or ipmnation.com, thank you so very much for that. If you're catching us in the podcast, they're keeping our numbers growing thanks to you over at Spotify and iHeartRadio and iTunes even. So thank you very much for all of your continued support, because it really is a dogfight. Now, I know you're thinking, Brian, a white guy, you're not racist. You have a dog, right? I know exactly where you're going with that. Yeah, but it's not it's a dogfight trying to keep the numbers up. So that's what we're doing, and we'll have the video of that tomorrow night, everything we can to help, spread the word of what we're doing. And like we did tonight, the art of no. And we'll wrap it back up at the top of the next half hour when we get into Mortal Up, at the art of no. What you can say no to. Will this show take off on its own? No. Can I just sit around and this thing will grow on its own? No. So tomorrow night, we'll be showing you exactly what that's going to mean, and I'm very excited about it, I have to tell you. All right, we're going to run to a quick break. I'm going to take a sip of something to make sure I have a throat here. When we come back, we'll be opening up the phone lines, and we're hoping to hear from you. Don't forget, you can text us as well, 833-667-8251. You're listening to Radio Bry. Wherever you are, thank you so much. We'll be right back. Over on LinkedIn, Kenny, thank you very much. The Human Mind's Mandalorian, that was such a nice compliment. So the Baby Yoda made a cameo appearance, if you happen to see the thread over on Facebook or on Twitter, over on LinkedIn as well. Baby Yoda holding up the mortalup.com sign. And we'll get to that a little bit later on in Mortal Up. But if you've listened through now 500 and some odd episodes, I believe in your potential to chart any course you want in life. And it was nice to have Baby Yoda stop by for a little bit of PR. All right, Wayne, just so it doesn't get away from us, let's go ahead, if you would, open the phone lines and get to it.
The phone lines are open. Now's your chance to mortal up and give Brian a shout because your opinion deserves to be heard. Dial toll free 1-833-MORTAL-1. That's 833-MORTAL-1.
Or don't forget, if you like the hieroglyphics, 833-667-8251. You can call, you can text, and we'd love to get your opinion. Don't forget to head on over to mortalup.com, and you can vote in our poll. There's all kinds of cool things to see and do over there as well. We got a new run of T-shirts. New bumper stickers are coming in. New flags. Radio Bry flags are coming in. Very excited about that. Also, as you know, the koozies and some other things. So we'll have a whole page over there. I believe there's a shopping cart, that kind of thing. If that's the type of thing that you're into, it would be our pleasure. Believe me, it would be our pleasure to hook you up. Wayne? Phone call coming in. All right. Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. How are you? Who's this?
This is Janice Brawdy. Wayne, I can barely hear you.
Oh, that's just because he kind of whispers to let me know that people come in and make calls. But thank you very much. So we will check Wayne's volume as well. And we're trying out some new.
You know what?
What?
Maybe I got to shut you off. Hold on.
Okay. There we go. All right, Wayne. So I bet you didn't know you were going to have people calling in and giving you your own sound check. Yes, Janice.
Great show tonight, B.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. It's easy, right? When you just have to decide between yes and no. Very easy to do, right? So thank you very much. I appreciate it. What do you say when it comes to judicial precedent? Is it something should be followed? Yes or no?
Yes, I say yes.
Okay.
I say fill that seat.
Fill that seat. Yes, I saw that earlier. Fill that seat. And I bet there's a lot of people that believe the same way you do. I happen to believe that same way. I don't want to speak for anyone else here at the show, but if it's happened before, if that's precedent, then that's what you stick with. You just can't say precedent. It's like people that wrap themselves, Janice, in the Constitution. They're screaming about the Constitution when it supports them, when it protects them, when it gives them a little bit of cover. But as soon as it works against them, oh no, we can't stand for that. We're going to have to pack the courts. We're going to have to burn it down. We're going to have to do this and do that. So I'm with you. I think he should absolutely move to make the nomination. Now, whether the Senate passes it or not, who knows? But again, why I always say the greatest time in the history of the world to be alive.
No, and that is true. And look, with what we're dealing with heading into the election, we have to have a full court. We cannot not have a full court.
Right. I would agree.
Right.
And I think I would agree with you. And I think people listening would say the same thing, that it just makes sense. Forget about party affiliation. It just makes sense. Right.
Right. And I think Candace spoke to that as well. And she's spot on. I think that's one of your listeners. We have to have a full Supreme Court. Do I agree with packing the court? No, it needs to stay the way it is. So, again, that speaks to precedent. We can't just start adding new seats to the Supreme Court because it works for whoever has the president and the Senate. Whoever, could make that happen. You can't do that.
As Zach says here in the Facebook feed, Zach, thank you for your input, says Bush v. Gore, Bush versus Gore, warns we need a full court. Absolutely correct. Look what can happen.
Right. Right, and it's a perfect example as what Zach referenced. And the other thing is, yes, all these politicians are flip-flopping, and we can go back and listen to everything that they ever said when Gore took whatever his name was up,
Right.
and the Republicans held it and didn't put it through. But the thing is,
Merrick Garland,
after what the Senate, or was it Garland? Sorry, what
Right,
the
that's okay.
Senate did to Kavanaugh, every single Republican senator has a right to go, I take back what I said. So
Right.
they want to go after Lindsey Graham for saying he used to say something. He went right on record going, yeah, I did say that in the past, but after I watched what the Senate did to Kavanaugh during the hearings to get him appointed, he takes it all back. And
well, what's troubling to me? What's troubling
so,
to me is no rational person would ever want to put themselves through that.
Right.
I mean, I think back to Justice Alito, his wife, leaving the courtroom crying. I think back to everything they did to Clarence Thomas. Wait, you don't have to go. Everyone's memory has a Judge Bork. What happened there? So I'm with you. It's either right or it's wrong. It's yes or it's no. And if the precedent is that you fill that vacancy with your nomination, whether the Senate acts on it or not, it's still precedent that the president should do the nomination.
And that's the job of the president of the United States.
Yes, absolutely agreed. Absolutely agreed. All right, Janice, thank you so much for your call. We super appreciate it. And thank you for the heads up about Wayne's voice, too. We appreciate that. Wayne's World. Wayne's World. All right, Jan, thank you so much for the call. All right, so don't forget, you can text us also, 833-667-8251. If you want to give us a holler. Janice, thank you for your input. And then, Wayne, let's hear about, I'm able to hear you pretty well. Let's see where your volume levels are.
How's that?
Well, I think you sound great. If Janice is still listening, she'll give you a sound check online here, or at least in the Facebook post. Give us a call, 833-MORTAL and the numeral 1, 833-MORTAL-1. And then, Wayne, I think I was going to hold it a little bit this evening, but we're running out of time. And I know you're thinking, Bri, how will you ever? Oh, I know what I wanted to ask Wayne. Are we going to announce the 7 thing tonight?
No.
No, we're not going to announce that. Okay, so tomorrow night we'll have the video of the new mobile base camp. We've got a new thing coming with the number 7. No, it's not the movie with Demi Moore. But a new thing coming with the number 7. We'll be doing that tomorrow night, and which answers the question, how the heck do you pick one person out of a whole menagerie of Meshuggah? I just made that up, a menagerie of Meshuggah. How do you pick just one person? Well, tonight, it was easy. We're ready. Wayne, if you are. Oh, I could do hand puppets. Lowlifes making headlines, or as we like to call it around here, brains that make your blood boil. Here's your brittle brain atop a balsa wood spine for today. Here we go. Oh, yes, Wayne, if I could quickly. Candace says they hate Trump so much they will spew anything. It's kind of hard to respond to these during the middle when I'm reaching over on the board, Candace, but that one, absolutely. Jenna says, I can hear him on Facebook, just couldn't hear him on the phone. So, Wayne, your volume's coming out great to everywhere other than the phone, and that's probably because Wayne's just trying to be quiet because I just keep talking. All right, so our lowlifes making headlines for today. I want to give credit where credit's due. I got this from Dana Lee. Now, I had hoped Dana was going to call in tonight, and I don't want to steal her thunder because she's so good at this kind of stuff. I don't want to steal her thunder, but we're going to go ahead and go with it, and hopefully if she's listening, she'll call in and let us know what we think. But lowlifes making headlines for today, and I think Dana had something to the effect that Jesus rode a donkey, rode a mule, a jackass, whatever you want to call it. Jesus, well, our lowlife making headlines tonight is Joel Osteen. You know him. You love him. Candy Joe. Joe Osteen. And the fact that his car, if I remember it correctly, Wayne, I think in Dana's post it said his car was almost $400,000. Some kind of shiny, glitzy little sports car. polished up as white as his teeth whitening program. I believe that was the dollar amount. Wayne, if you know any different, please let me know. But our low life making headlines for tonight, the born again, what do they call mega preachers? Is that what it's called? Mega churches, mega preachers? I even forget, right? All of them.
Yeah.
I can't even remember something they call mega preachers. His car's worth almost $500,000. Well, his car with his insurance every year is worth he pays $500,000. But he's the man of the people, right? He's the preacher. He's the head of this mega church, and that's the car he's driving. So, Joel Osteen, congratulations. Wayne's going to make certain you get a little certificate. His church is somewhere, I think, in Texas, Wayne, isn't it?
Yes, it is. And it was a $325,000 Ferrari.
Whoa. Sue says, good evening, Sue. Sue says Joel Osteen is the biggest swindler. $300,000 Ferrari. Did you say Ferrari, Wayne?
Yeah.
Sue, I'm with you.
A Ferrari 458, I tell you.
Oh, yeah. Well, 458, 459, tomato. I can't afford them. But Joel can keep those donations coming, right? I need to make sure that my teeth stay whitened, and then I'm capable of driving super expensive sports cars. So good on you. You go get them, Tiger. Joel Osteen, you're our lowlifes making headlines for tonight. All right, Wayne. Now I know you're thinking to yourself, I really did that because Dana had some great insight, as she always does. She's on top of it. Sue says, hey, Jan. Candace says, he wouldn't let homeless, flooded people bed down in his church. Well, there you go. Look, maybe he could give a couple of them a ride to the local shelter. Maybe he was busy setting up like a shuttle service where he could have shuttled the people in the back. Wayne, I don't know much about these fancy sports cars. Do they have seats in the back, or am I just showing how much I don't know? Is this like a two-seater, or how does that work?
Yeah, you're sort of showing them how much you don't know about these cars. It's a two-seater.
All right, yeah. How many? Six-seater? Six-seater.
Two-seater.
Oh, it's a two. Well, he could have opened up the trunk and taken a couple of people, let them dangle their feet out, right, over the license plate holder. Well, he could have shuttled them back and forth. So maybe we shouldn't pick on him. Van. I'm sorry?
He could have used his church van instead of.
Yeah, he had his. Lord knows what that cost, right? But he is our low lifes making headlines for today. And I know you're thinking, really, you couldn't have given that to G. Biden? You couldn't have given it to his son, Hunter? Really? With all the breaking news going down? Well, there he is, G. Biden. Have you ever been to Tiananmen Square? This picture it's like it has eyes of its own, right? Like no matter where you move, this thing looks at you. And the last time I was at the square, my handler or the person that I was with, because there was security right all around, but the person I was with said, you got to be really careful what you say. Don't say anything out loud. Everything's bugged here. So, yay, G. Biden. Yay, G. Biden. I don't want him coming after me. Yay, G. Biden. But come on, really? Yes or no? With everything, with all the evidence that came out in the report today against Hunter Biden, can you at least admit, stop being a cherry-picking prick for just a minute, and again, biblical reference, sharp-pointed stick of a cattle prod. Can you stop long enough to go, yeah, that's not cool? Forget that you are a never-Trumper. Forget that you hate him. Forget that you're just no way. The Trump derangement syndrome. You're honestly going to let your mind and your train of thought be hijacked and go against what your stomach tells you is wrong. How is it that Hunter Biden, no real experience other than a lobbyist, no real experience, gets to land all these gigs, gets to be a consultant, and I guess notably now a consultant with some of our biggest enemies. And then you hear the soundtrack of G. Biden going, oh, come on, man, get real, you dog face. Is it a horse pony soldier? Pony horse soldier? Dog horse pony face soldier? What was it, Wayne? I can't remember. But I'm not running for president. Perish the thought. But G. Biden, Maybe there's a little something we should be looking into there. Maybe there's something to this report. Maybe, just maybe, call me crazy. Many people do. Maybe there's something to this, that he used his affiliation with his dad, the vice president of the United States, to do some pretty shady things. Maybe it could be. Sue says you can't love God and keep people from being safe in a natural disaster. Well, Sue, there you are. Come on, man. Come on, man. China's not going to eat our lunch. Now, I've always gone a little soft on China. I got to be honest with you. I've gone a little soft on China because, well, I blame me. I blame us. Look, if you're listening to this show with an iPhone or an iPad or a computer, or you're hanging out in the middle of your house with any of the 2 trillion things we import from China, whatever power, whatever strength, I've been there, traveled all over the place while I was there. I've been there, right? Whatever infrastructure they've built, we've given them the blank check. We've given them the money to do it. Oh, well, they steal, they steal creative things. They're doing it on the money we give them. Got to have our stuff. That's why when people slam Jeff Bezos, come on, man. When people slam Jeff Bezos, I go, don't slam Jeff Bezos. Oh, which reminds me of, I have to talk. Someone texted me earlier, and I want to, don't let me forget, Wayne, please. Just say the words Justin Bieber. All right? Before we get ready to go, just say to me, Brian, Justin Bieber. It'll be a dog whistle. Trust me, I'll know exactly what you're talking about. So, right? Here it is. All of a sudden, all these things start to go down, and you and I don't get to question. Jeff Bezos got to be Jeff Bezos because you and I couldn't wait 10 seconds to get our bauble, our bling, our trinket, our little tchotchke, whatever it was. Oh, well, Amazon Prime will deliver it. Now, let me say, Amazon Prime, huge fan. I'm a member, right? Whatever that means. Amazon Prime. So that's why sometimes I go and I don't have a lot to say about the rise of power of a Jeff Bezos. I don't have a lot to say the rise of power of China because I blame me. Every time I look in the mirror, I go, hey, you know what? It's my fault. It's our fault. We've given them all the money. Jeff Bezos worked a hot dog stand when he was younger. But he got to be one of, if not the wealthiest, one of the wealthiest people in the world because you and I pay him to get our crap to us as fast as possible. Right? So I say, don't blame Jeff Bezos, blame me. Don't blame China for being able to rival us at every turn now, right? I say you blame you and me. We're the ones we just couldn't wait for or whatever. Had to have the iPhone 37. They're now the sizes of bread boxes and this and that. We're keeping them all alive. Oh, I got to have my camping gear, but it's got to be made in China. Oh, I got to have this or that. It's got to be made in China. I need it cheap, 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 cheap. Don't want to spend a lot of money for that. I need it cheap. You might as well just transfer money. You get that little app on your phone. Just transfer your money right to China. Transfer my money right to China. We're the ones to blame. And the reason that, can I just tell you quickly, the reason that I love blaming myself is that if I'm the one that's at fault, then I can do something to change it. I don't have to order my stuff from Amazon anymore. I don't have to use the things that are made in China. I can shop locally. I can do the different things to make an impact in the only life I can control ultimately, which is my own. So when it comes to the art of no, I say no to buying more stuff from China. I say no to buying more stuff from Jeff Bezos, if that's right. But talk about a cherry-picking prick. Biblical reference, cattle prod. You get where I'm going with this. Save the emails. Save the snark. Not that I believe that's a vulgar term anyways. Who cares what you think? Right? But you go, oh, no, that's just horrible. Oh, but if I could get my jar of foot cream by 5 o'clock today, oh, wow, then I could put that on in my new, oh, look at these fleece socks. I'll put some foot cream on with my fleece socks, and Amazon will use a drone to deliver it to me within the next 2 hours. I'm in. Well, wait a minute. You were just on a picket line saying how much you hated Jeff Bezos, but now you got to have some bunion cream. Oh, and you ordered some cookies, did you? While you're sitting there with your feet, you got to munch. If you're sitting on the couch with your feet up, wrapped in wool socks, wearing a bunion cream, you got to have cookies. You got to have snacks. So I get it. You can slam Jeff Bezos, but you don't slam him when he's giving you all of your crack. However you define your heroin, right? However we define our drug. As long as Jeff Bezos keeps giving it to us, then we're going to turn a blind eye and a deaf ear. But when it comes to en masse criticizing him, I just won't do it because I'm the one to blame. All right, so here we go, Wayne. We got 9 minutes left, and I was going to ask you to remind me of Justin Bieber, but here it is. And let me know in the thread if you've heard of this story. As Sue says, shop local. Janice says, I do love Amazon. Sue says, Jeff Bezos cornered the market and made billions. And now we hate him for it. I need to buy shares in his company. Sue, you and I should have gotten together. We should have hooked up and bought shares in his company a long time ago, huh? Bart says, Brian, it is not as it seems. It's Trump's fault, silly. Yes, I don't know. Dorito boy, I don't know. You have to admit that sometimes when the light just right, it catches his hair. He does look like Glenn Beck with his face covered in Cheeto dust. I got to say, just you got to watch the camera angles. So here's the thing with Justin Bieber. And if anyone knows about this, bunion cream, I know, right? They get it to you so fast it makes you want to have bunions. You want some bunion cream? Well, I don't have bunions, but damn, it can be here by 3 o'clock. Sign me up for 2 cases. You guys don't deliver tacos, do you? Oh, now, Bri, you say you're eating Mexican food. You're culturally appropriating Mexican folks, just like you're culturally appropriating people of color. If you have a dog, well, there you go. So here's the thing. If you know anything about this, please let me know. You can text us 833-667-8251, 833-MORTAL, and the numeral 1. Wayne, have you heard anything about this Justin Bieber challenging Tom Cruise?
That's an oldie.
Was that an oldie?
Yeah, that was months and months ago.
Months and months ago. All right.
Yeah.
Well, someone texted me today and said Justin Bieber is going to challenge or has challenged Tom Cruise to a fight in a ring. Right? Like, I get Wayne, is it mixed martial arts?
Nope.
No, or just regular boxing, or they're just going to get together and say nasty words to each other. What kind of fight was he calling them to?
He never really specified. He just basically challenged him.
Okay,
Yeah.
Bridget, I'm with you. Hey, a fellow BB. Bridget says, I like Doritos. So do I. Sue says, all politicians are corrupt. And Candace, too bad Miss Putnam isn't on. She's usually talking about food as well. Candace says Doritos with cream cheese. All right. I think that was my stomach growling. We only got 6 minutes to wrap. I got to run and get a snack. So that's an old story, but here's the thing. He's picking a guy that's 50 some odd years old. So not knowing any better, not knowing that it was a couple of months old, I just said, hey, Justin, leave the young Tom Cruise alone. I'm older than that. Challenge me. What do you think, Wayne? That would be some marketing, right? Getting a throwdown in a ring with Justin Bieber.
Go for it.
I know, right? I don't know if he'll instant message me. I said, hey, Muffin. Hey, Cream Puff. How about the boxer that just challenged LeBron James? I know, right? Bridget, you're killing me. Bridget Butler says, or blue cheese. She's absolutely right. Do you know back in my days in West Virginia, we used to eat French fries dipped in blue cheese, Wayne?
Yes.
That was the condiment of choice. And boy, anytime I get a chance to order French fries with blue cheese, Bridget, my good golly, I'm with you. Not to say that Candace is wrong about Doritos with cream cheese, but I used to eat, we used to go to a place, we would have fish bowls. They were literal, Wayne, fish bowls. You could You could finish your beer, take it home, rinse it out, and a guppy, a goldfish could live in this fishbowl. We used to, Justin got saved, I read somewhere. Oh, saved from the fight? Or he's now religious? Just want to check and make sure.
Now religious.
He's now religious. So, but now it would be a fight between Christianity and what's Tom Cruise?
Scientology.
L. Ron Hubbard? Scientology. Oh, so I get it now. It's a fight between a Christian and a Scientologist. Okay, well, there you go. I'll still stick up for Tom and go, all right, Justin.
But what you got to realize is that challenge was back in June of 2019.
Oh, well, hopefully he's gotten stronger and tougher. At least give him a chance of making it a real fight. I've had bigger guys challenge me. All right, so I don't want to miss this. Yeah, there was a boxer that said to LeBron James, because LeBron is like, oh, all these guys on the outside, they have opinions, which I thought was odd, given that LeBron James is the one to always give you his opinion about what's going on in the outside world, but then gets upset, gets offended, gets triggered, gets maligned, outraged when someone off the court makes a comment about it. And he goes, yeah, well, all these outsiders, come on into the court. Let's see how long you last. Well, a mixed martial artist who had just won, I guess he's a pretty good fighter too, said, great, bring it. Bring it. You won't last 10 seconds with me. So I think that's what Janice is referencing. Candace says, maybe because of Scientology, just thinking. Oh, that could be, Candace. Thank you very much. Maybe he's challenging Tom, not because of Mission Impossible or Top Gun. Maybe Justin's pissed because he didn't get the soundtrack like Kenny Loggins did. I don't know. Could be. Don't know, Justin Muffin Bieber. But the challenge is still open. I'll do a stand-in if that's cool with him. All right, so Wayne, we're not going to have time for Mortal Up tonight to close because we've been talking about Justin Bieber. Just heaven help me. We've been talking about Justin Bieber, but let me run down quickly and say, Candace, thank you. Janice, thank you. Bridget, thank you, thank you, thank you. Sue, nice to see you. Thank you so much as well. Big Red, I know you were in here earlier. Thank you. Bart, thank you for joining us, hanging out, making this episode. Wayne, what episode are we?
This episode is 508.
508, making our 508th episode a truly great one. Thank you. Well, it's great for me, at least. You all might be going, yeah, that's barely programming. How do you even do that? But it was great for me. I had a blast doing it. Wayne, what are we going to be doing tomorrow night? Can we give everybody a little tease of what's coming up? I know we're going to do the mobile thing, the mobile marketing facility. We're going to highlight what 7 is. Don't forget on Friday, tune in for 3 Stooges plus an honorable mention. Let your mind run wild as to who you think that could be. Bart says, great show tonight, Brian. Biden grabbed Yoda. I know, right? Here's the only thing. He doesn't remember it, right? If he did grab Yoda, he'll wake up before too long and go, hey, there's a green thing with ears in the yard. How did that get here? Sue says, Justin had to get saved because of Haley. Oh, I didn't know that. Haley, the comet? He gets because of the comet? I don't know. Wow, 508. Where was I? 507 episodes ago. Great question, Sue. I'd like to know. Let's make sure that you're here for 509 because it's going to be a great one. Wayne, what are we doing?
I think it's better about that time to close.
Will you stop playing with your volume button and turn it up, please? What's the show for tomorrow? What's our title?
Oh, you would go there. Hold on. Tomorrow's title is Go with the Flow.
Go with the flow. I like that one. All right, Sue. Hope to see you there. Episode 509, Go with the Flow. We're going to get out of here. Have an absolutely fantastic evening. Wayne from the Counterpunch Studios in an undisclosed bunker in Michigan. Can't tell where it's at, right? In case that Black Hawk helicopters come after us. Wayne, thank you as always for everything. And we will see you all. Have a great evening. We're looking forward to seeing you tomorrow night. Have an absolutely fantastic day.
Thanks for listening to the Brian Brawdy Show. Until next time, get out there and mortal up.